So you happen to like a man, a trans man in particular. You're lost, you don't know what to think or what to do. Does this make you gay, straight, bisexual, or by this point even confused, right? What pronouns do you use? How do you have sex? Can you touch him here or there? What does he even like to be called? There's practically no end to the amount of questions you have. Am I right? Well, being that I am a trans man, I would like to help. I will start by getting to the exciting parts first. Dating a trans man. This I cannot say is easy, but neither can I say it is difficult. And that is because everyone is different. How do you decide how to approach someone or how to treat them? According to how they respond to you and what they tell you. How else can you know? You ask, right? Many people, when having their first romantic relationship with a trans man, tend to become overwhelmed by confusion or fear. Fear of doing the wrong things. Fear of what others may say. Or what it means for their attractions even. There are so many curiosities, and with them a lot of times a lot of assumptions as well. What I want to tell you first and foremost is, in order to learn his no-go zones, what to do and what not to do, you must first ask. Countless numbers of people have come to me and asked me what they should do when involved with their trans boyfriends, or interested in how they should treat them and how they should how they should address them. And quite frankly, I nor anyone else can give you a specific or solid answer. There is no one way to treat people because everyone likes something different. So what might have worked in your last relationship may not work so much in this new one. And it's not because he's trans, it's because with a different person there comes different circumstances and understanding, and you get what I'm saying. Now, the actual exciting part is talking about sex, of course. Does he like to give or receive oral? Does he like to use strap-ons? Does he even call them that? You know, some people will say not to go down on your boyfriend or to even use such terminology. But if you ask him, he might say he doesn't care what you call it, just do it. You ask another guy and he might have a negative reaction. So it's really important to really do things that work for you and him. Now, what you must first do is create conversation about it. You know, don't be shy. Everything you're talking about doing, you will eventually actually be doing it. So be sure to have some casual or even sexy conversation about what you like and what you don't like, and your limitations and what you want to try, you know, things you've done even. You know, it's okay to be comfortable with one another. It's a good thing. Ask what terms are okay. Does he have no-go zones where he absolutely does not want to be touched or even seen? These are things any couple should know about one another. If you know at some point you're going to be intimate or it's going to get a little deeper, have these conversations. It doesn't have to be like, whoa, babe, we have to talk. It doesn't have to be that serious. No, it's something that could just come up in the middle of a random conversation, and you know, you can just go there. You can just find your way there from different conversations. You know, it's okay to talk about these things. It's good to talk about these things. It's fun to talk about these things. So don't be afraid to ask questions, not only to make things go smoother, but to make it hot. Does your attraction to him contradict your sexual identity? So you wonder, what does this mean, right? Well, let me offer you this bit of information. I, nor anyone else, can tell you what your sexuality is. That is for you to understand and decide, but I would like to offer you something to consider. A label is merely a label, and what you do with it, such as swear by it, use it politically, or as a cover-up even, is your choice. But who you like, that is not as controllable as a label. Last year you might have liked them short and stocky, and this year tall and skinny. In addition to our swing attractions, the labels we identify with, hate, or feel indifferent towards do change. Sometimes we grow out of them, and sometimes we realize they never fit at all. Whatever the case, welcome this confusion as an opportunity to take the time to learn more about yourself. It is nothing to be afraid of, and if you are thinking about fighting it, stop right now. Just stop. Nothing ever ceases to be just because we wish it to. You know, you must face the issue, explore it, make sense of it, and really that is the only way to alleviate the issue. Secondly, it is of no obligation of yours to explain your sexuality to anyone, and you are also not obligated to explain your relationship to someone. Sexuality in our culture has become A subject most assume is up for a public discussion nowadays, but reality, it is in fact something you can keep personal. You don't have to tell someone just because they asked you. So when someone comes up to you and asks, hey, weren't you a lesbian? Try not to appeal to their ideas by validating not only your lesbian identity, their assumptions, and the misconception that trans men are really butch women by disclosing his transitional history in response to their question. Again, this is only okay if he explicitly states that it is so. If you wholeheartedly prefer your lesbian identity, which is for most people not really an issue, or whatever it is that you identify as actually, then simply respond, yes, I am a lesbian, and you can leave it at that. You know, you have absolutely nothing to explain if you do not want to. If you feel the need to defend yourself, your sexuality, or your attractions to your friends, there may be some things you might want to reconsider. And I'm not saying exactly what, but something here has to give. Are you not so sure about what to call him? Does he still use his birth name sometimes and now you are a little confused? Does he sometimes respond to feminine pronouns too? Not all trans men feel the same about pronouns, names, their bodies, and so on. So in this particular case, if you cannot take it from context clues about what he prefers to be called, then in private, let him know that you mean no offense, but that you were a little unsure and you did not want to disrespect him, and ask him what he prefers to be called. If you want to go the extra step and help in, when in public, because for some people it can be difficult to be perceived as their actual gender at times, just ask if he would like for you to correct people when they used incorrect terms. Ask if there are certain people to use specific names or pronouns around, like his family, his parents, or church members. You might be headstrong in advocating for his respect, but even support being too aggressive can make someone uncomfortable. In addition to that, this could also potentially cause problems at work, at home, or in other areas of his life. So be considerate of his situation, and like I said, just ask. Another hot topic is trans attracted folks not knowing whether their interest is even into their gender. So you're not sure if he is gay, straight, polysexual, or asexual? Well, ask him. Or at least say, let him know you were interested in him, but you were unsure of his sexuality and you didn't want to offend him. You could take that route. What I want to clarify is that trans, transgender, transsexual, all these terms, for some people, it's a gender identity. For others, it's a birth condition that is in a process of or has been fixed, but never is it a sexuality. Yes, there may be some misconceptions, especially considering the fact that the T is in the LGBTQ community. Yes, I understand, but make no mistake, trans people have various sexual attractions just like everyone else. Some trans men like men, some trans men like women, some are polysexual and others asexual. The only way to truly know is to ask this particular person. We are a community, but we are individuals. Next, I would like to say to make no assumptions about his body, how he feels about his body, or what plans he may or may not have for surgery. Make no assumptions, period, actually. Trans men come in various forms, like the rest of society. Some are born with intersex conditions, some were assigned female at birth, and some are typical in some ways and others not so much. We as trans men may in fact share a lot of the same feelings and experiences, but this does not stand to say that we feel 100% the same about everything, especially when in regards to ourselves as individuals. Some trans men like their bodies just fine. Some do not experience bodily dysphoria, some want surgeries, and some may have days where they feel great about themselves and others not so great. How to respond to these not so great moments depends on him as an individual. Get to know him, and eventually you will both know how to deal with whatever stresses he may experience. There might be certain situations in which it triggers his gender dysphoria. There might be other situations where it makes him feel great about himself. So as you take the time to get to know one another, you'll begin to learn these things, and it'll all begin to make sense, and it'll get better, I promise you. To a lot of people, it might sound like a lot, but these are probably things you have already done with other partners, but in different ways. And that is figuring out what to do and what not to do. simply either by asking, picking it up during conversation, or the ever so popular method today, Facebook stalking. Don't be intimidated by him. He's just a man. Introduce yourself or your intentions and go with it. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions and ease some of your concerns. So if you still have a few questions and a few things you would like to talk about, then send me a message or leave a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But before I go, I would like to remind you of these points. 1, ask him if you are unsure. 2, no two men are alike. So what works for Michael's boyfriend may not help you. So again, 3, ask. And finally, be safe. Planned Parenthood is a great resource for nearly any sexual health related needs that you have. So check them out, and you know, you can always go get some free condoms. They got dental dams. They got a little bit of everything you need. So don't be afraid to take care of yourself sexually. So whatever you decide to do, respect one another, be safe, and have fun. And I would like to thank you for watching, and talk to you later. Peace.